This happened in 2008 to 2009, but I thought this community would appreciate the story. In 2008, I had just left my husband. I caught him cheating multiple times, and I was just over it. A new girl, we will call her Amy, started at my job and we made a fast friendship. I was in the middle of packing up and moving out of my house. I needed a roommate for a new apartment I was looking at because my wages weren't going to pay the bills. So we move in together and live peacefully together for a while. I was moving on with my life. I had gotten better paying job, was spending time with my friends, and I felt okay with life at the time. At the time I was 25, single, and not looking for anything serious, so I had a friends with benefits who would stop over a few times a week. Amy was cool with it on the surface. It did not affect her in any way. My friend didn't hang out at our place. He didn't eat at our place. He didn't use our household supplies. My relationship with him affected her exactly 0%, but I guess she was a little green about the fact that I was getting some attention and she was not. She would flirt with him, go visit him where he worked, etc., but he absolutely not interested in her. This is where things started to go downhill. For context, she had been married a few times, she was 13 years older than me, and the dads had full custody of their respective kids. She was dating someone, but he was already in a relationship, so he wasn't about to commit to anything besides stopping by for 30 minutes after he worked the night shift every day. I tried to point out all the red flags, but she was convinced it was love. This dude used to hit on me constantly in front of her. He was very open about being in a committed relationship with his girlfriend, so I have no idea why Amy thought this was going anywhere. After a few months, I met someone I wanted to be serious with, so we started dating. We will call the guy Tom. Tom and I got serious pretty fast. He was living in a horrible situation, so he moved in with Amy and I pretty quickly. I think it was after about a month of dating. So we have our room and she has her own room. The bills went from 50-50 to 33/33/34 to make sure things were still even. We had a shared kitchen, living room, and bathroom. After Tom moved in, she started openly hitting on him in front of me. Every guy I had at my house, even just friends, she had to hit on. None of them ever took her up on it. Every single one turned her down, and I think this added greatly to her oncoming behavior. Over the next couple of weeks, Amy did a complete 180. She stopped paying rent, refused to buy any food, and would just eat whatever Tom and I bought, would not wash her dishes. We had 2 cats, one hers and one mine, and she would never clean the litter in her room, so her cat would use our hallway floor as a bathroom every single day. Every day when I got home from work, there was a big steaming pile of cat shit right inside my front door, sitting in the middle of a giant puddle of urine. My cat was locked in my room at night with her own supplies, so there was 0 chance it was her. It was the same thing every morning by the front door. Whenever she was done eating the food she stole from me, she would set her plate with the leftovers on the kitchen floor for her cat to pick at. She would leave the plate there for days, to the point that if I didn't pick them up, there would be multiple plates on the floor with food in various stages of decay. All of my dishes started going missing, except for the cat's plates, of course. And what dishes were left, she refused to wash ever. She used my toilet paper, my laundry soap, even my tampons. This went on for about 2 months, and it just kept getting progressively worse. She would use panty liners every day and would change them multiple times a day and stuff them in the garbage can in the bathroom. She would leave it there completely overflowing and spilling onto the floor for days until I caved and put on gloves and threw them out. The can would be full in about a week, so this happened a few times. That's not even the worst of it. My expensive digital single-lens reflex went missing. I was a photography hobbyist at the time, but it was my dream to be a professional photographer and own my own photography business. I would shoot stuff for friends and family as practice, and one day I grabbed my camera bag from the shared living room, and as soon as I picked it up, I felt my heart sink into my stomach. You know that instant dread that grips you the second you realize something truly gut-wrenching has happened. I opened the bag, and of course the camera is gone. That was an expensive camera for that time of my life, and it was a gift from my parents, so I was truly devastated. I couldn't prove a thing, and I wasn't even sure how long it had been missing. Could have been her BF that took it, but either way it was gone. So now this is it. This is the last straw. I need this bitch out. I went from nice girl to fucking psycho in about 30 seconds. I'm not the violent type and I hate confrontation. I'm not waiting for a fucking eviction to go through and I really didn't have the money for that anyway, so here's where I start my petty revenge. Amy wants to live here with me rent-free, stealing my shit, hitting on my boyfriend, and neglecting her cat. So be it. But it's going to be on my fucking terms. One vital piece of information. In my divorce, the dickhead moved back in with mommy and I took everything from the house to my new apartment, so I owned everything and the lease was in my name. I started by changing the Wi-Fi password and the computer password. The following week, I had my cable company come and remove the cable lines to her room. I bought a small fridge for my room and a cabinet and put all my food and personal supplies in my bedroom and put a secure lock on my door. I hid my pots and pans. I locked up the soap and toilet paper. The cabinets were empty. I paid for it all and I would be the only one using it. When her cat shit on the floor, I would pick it up and smear it on her bedroom doorknob. Overflowing bathroom trash cans filled to the brim with her panty liners were dumped on her bed. I removed the knobs to the washer and the dryer. I did everything possible to make her life uncomfortable. I did other small stuff. Anything that came to mind. A few months prior, Amy and I had been working at the same store and she borrowed another coworker's laptop. She ended up getting fired, but she never gave the laptop back and the coworker was really trying to get it back from her. Amy ghosted her, of course, so while she was out one day, I went in and took the laptop and gave it back to its rightful owner. Amy called the cops on me and said I stole her computer, but I explained what happened. She admitted to the cops that the computer wasn't hers, and the cops said it wasn't their problem anymore. That one really made her hate me. She wasn't working at the time, so it's not like she had money to do anything or buy anything. She was literally just existing in my apartment. She would disappear during the day, but I have no idea where she was going. She moved out after about 6 weeks. When she moved out of my apartment, I didn't even know she had left. I just noticed she wasn't coming or going for about a week. So Tom and I cleaned out her room. She left clothes, broken furniture, a cardboard dresser, and 5 39-gallon garbage bags of trash we collected from the mass piles of panty liners, rotting food, and ordinary trash we found in the room. It's a miracle we didn't have roaches. I found all my missing dishes, silverware, and cups all covered in food and grossness. I just threw it all away. I wish I still had the photos though. Oddly enough, about 6 months later, I opened my back door to take out the trash and my camera was in a bag hanging from my doorknob. I know Amy definitely didn't return it. For about 2 years after, every time I would find out that Amy was living with someone new, I would message them and send them the photos of her room. Papers in the trash that had her name on them. And I would tell them the whole story. One time it caused the people she was living with to throw her shit out on the porch. She had just moved in and they had small kids and they didn't want to risk it with her. I stopped after that. She knew it was me telling them too, so I figured I had sufficiently made my point. And #X200B. Edit. She took the cat with her, but not before she threw my cat outside. My cat was missing for 10 days. Comment by user. Perhaps your camera was returned the same way you returned the purloined laptop. Reply by original poster. I believe so. Comment by user. Excellent work. I'm only surprised you didn't immediately move all your things out of the shared spaces the minute she started abusing them. Leave my dishes unwashed? Oh hell no. Cat would be locked in her room too. Reply by original poster. I was a lot softer back then and we had a close friendship up until I got serious with Tom. Comment by user. What in the Jerry Springer did I just read? Edit. Thanks for the awards. Take care of yourself and each other. Reply by original poster. It would have been truly a Jerry Springer episode if my boyfriend had slept with her. Comment by user. I bet that former colleague with the laptop made it her mission to figure out where that camera was. Reply by original poster. She would have told me. I still talk to her once while. Ironically, Amy got fired for slapping said colleague in the face. They got into an argument over the computer. LOL. Comment by user. Did she take the cat or leave it with you? Reply by original poster. She took her cat. But not before she threw my cat outside. I forgot to add that part. My cat was missing for 10 days. Comment by user. Does Tom get her old room or what? Reply by original poster. No. We got married and had 3 kids. Comment by user. I feel so bad about that happening to your cat. Poor fur baby. How's you find it? What happened there? Reply by original poster. She just disappeared. I got off work one night and I went to my parents' house. I went home at something like 3 a.m. and I got out of my car and she came running down the sidewalk. I cried so hard. She was only 7 pounds and she was indoor only. But she lived a full live with me until she passed from heart failure. I wish Amy had left her cat. I was still feeding him up to the day she took him. I hated her, but I wasn't gonna starve the poor cat because she was a bitch. Comment by user. I'm invested now. What's happened to your life? Did you stay with Tom? Reply by original poster. We were together for 6 years. Had 3 kids. I made a lot of bad life choices in my 20s. Obviously. This whole story is one giant mistake after another. He cheated on me. Didn't want to work. This was bad. He was drinking a lot. So I left and took the kids. Things were messy for a while. I remarried. We will be married 7 years this Christmas. He is amazing to my kids and me. I went back to school for photography and my husband and I started our business last year. Tom remarried and she's a witch. She was terrible to my kids and he was practically a deadbeat, so they decided it wasn't worth seeing the kids at all. I sought full custody and won because it was tormenting my kids. She moved him and her kids to a different state and he hasn't spoken to his kids in 3 years. The youngest kid is 10 now and everyone is happy, healthy, and we are all living our best life. A lot changes in 15 years. Comment by user. I'm invested now. What's happened to your life? Did you stay with Tom? Reply by original poster. We were together for 6 years. Had 3 kids. I made a lot of bad life choices in my 20s. Obviously. This whole story is one giant mistake after another. He cheated on me. Didn't want to work. This was bad. He was drinking a lot. So I left and took the kids. Things were messy for a while. I remarried. We will be married 7 years this Christmas. He is amazing to my kids and me. I went back to school for photography in 2013 and my current husband and I started our business last year. Tom remarried and she's a witch. She was terrible to my kids and he was practically a deadbeat, so they decided it wasn't worth seeing the kids at all. I sought full custody and won because it was tormenting my kids. She moved him and her kids to a different state and he hasn't spoken to his kids in 3 years. The youngest kid is 10 now and everyone is happy, healthy, and we are all living our best life. A lot changes in 15 years. Comment by user. She had been married a few times. She was 13 years older than me, and the dads had full custody of their respective kids. It's a mystery how any of this could have happened/s. Reply by original poster. This should have been a huge red flag, but I was stupid at 25 and let her move in anyway. Comment by user. I feel sorry for both cats. Reply by original poster. My cat came back and lived out the rest of her life being spoiled. Comment by user. Lol, so good. One question though, how on earth do you remove the knobs from a washer and dryer? Don't think I've ever even seen one with knobs thinking face, though my mom used to take the power cord off the back of our dryer when I was a teenager so I couldn't use it. Reply by original poster. They were really basic, so the plastic knobs just pulled off the metal peg. LOL. Comment by user. I would have done most anything to save that cat from her. So messed up. Reply by original poster. Honestly, I thought she was just going to leave him with me. She had no money and no job. I was shocked that she took him considering all the shit she left behind. Comment by user. This is why I will live in a shack by myself if that's what it takes to live alone. Horrible roommates can be so much more than just intolerable. Some people are truly disordered, and the cost can go as high as your life, both figuratively and literally. People are fucked up. Sometimes you don't understand how bad it is until it's too late. Reply by original poster. Me too. I would never have a roommate again unless it was with someone I knew very well. Comment by user. It's astonishing to me that there wasn't violence. I'm not picking up cat shit every day to smear it on a doorknob. I'm picking up cat shit one time to make the roommate eat it. because that's how this feud ends today. Reply by original poster. LOL. But then she would call the cops and I get an assault charge. Comment by user. Wait 1 minute. In the edit you tell us that that bitch threw your cat outside and he was lost for 10 days. Oh no. She got off too easy. You don't harm a defenseless animal to get back at a person. And she was neglecting her own cat to piss you off too. Amy sounds like a really disgusting individual. Everything she got she had coming. Reply by original poster. She took my camera and threw my cat outside. Those two things are enough to make me turn full psycho on anyone. Comment by user. Damn, it's a miracle that not only did your cat return, but the camera too. Reply by original poster. Agreed. That camera is still going strong too. I gave two to Tom's daughter when I upgraded and she still uses it to this day. Comment by user. Knowing all her exes had custody of the kids would have set off the first alarm. Judges don't often separate kids from moms unless there's something really wrong. Could have been mutually agreed upon, but I definitely have some questions. Reply by original poster. I didn't think about that then. I didn't have kids or know much about how that all worked. I thought it was weird for sure, but she gave me a story about how the exes lied about her court and she couldn't afford a lawyer. Comment by user. And this is why she didn't have custody of her kids. Glad you got her to leave. That sounds like a really bad situation. Sounds like my lost ex, to be honest. Reply by original poster. I don't know the true story of why she didn't have her kids, but I can only imagine. Comment by user. Did you get the camera back? Reply by original poster. I did. A few months later someone hung it on my back door handle. Comment by user. Smoggy dazzling domineering fearless spark pocket paint handle waiting in joy. This post was mass deleted and anonymized with redact. https://redact.dev. Reply by original poster. Well, I'm not saying I'd do that now. The whole post is a giant red flag. But I was stupid at 25. Did a lot of dumb shit as proven by this post. Comment by user. She had been married a few times, and the dads had full custody of their respective kids. With the way custody law generally works in Western society, this is the reddest collection of flags possible. Reply by original poster. I know that now after having kids and dealing with family court, but I didn't then. Comment by user. In this case, I'm feeling suspicious. This guy moved in after a month of you and him dating. It's easy to say, yeah, she just became a total jerk. But I'm pretty sure there's more to this story. Reply by original poster. The whole post has a ton of red flags I didn't see. I was dumb at 25. Sometimes really dumb. I made a lot of bad decisions in my 20s. Comment by user. Was your kitty okay? I hope her kitty is okay. Reply by original poster. My baby was okay. A little thin, but okay. She lived the rest of her life peacefully with me until she passed in 2012. Comment by user. Concerned grandfather oil poor slimy zonked teeny safe crush fanatical. This post was mass deleted and anonymized with redact. https://redact.dev. Reply by original poster. We were married for 6 years and had 3 kids. LOL. Comment by user. You have enough here to make a sitcom. Reply by original poster. It sure as hell wasn't funny then, but it's hilarious to me now. Comment by user. Jesus. Any idea what happened after the last time you got her kicked out? Reply by original poster. She floated from place to place for a while. Then she hooked up with a truck driver and moved a few states away. They broke up as she just floats from one minute wage job to another according to her Facebook. Other than that, I don't know much. Comment by user. TBH. I would have kept telling all of the skunk's future roommates how disgusting she was. Reply by original poster. LOL. A whole new level of petty. We should be friends. Comment by user. Why is it always an Amy LOL face with tears of joy? Reply by original poster. I'm sorry. LOL, I just picked a name at random. Comment by user. Sounds like Amy got on drugs or had a mental health issue tear its ugly head. Rough for everyone involved. Reply by original poster. Another commenter pointed that out, especially since she was 38 at the time. I didn't think about it then. I'm 41 now and I can't imagine doing the things she did at 38. And from what I see on her Facebook, her life hasn't changed much and she's 54 now. She got what she deserved for fucking with my camera and my cat. But now 15 years later I just feel bad for her. Comment by user. Sounds like she was suffering from a serious mental illness or related type of breakdown. Doesn't give her an excuse to make other people suffer though. I would have taken legal action way before the point you started pushing her out. What are the laws for that in your country with roommates? This is why I don't room with randoms. Reply by original poster. It's 3 to 4 months to get her out. Squatters have a lot of rights in my state. Comment by user. The first red flag was that she didn't have custody of her kids. Reply by original poster. I understand that now at 41. But at 25 I didn't. I didn't have kids or know anything about how the court system worked regarding kids or why someone would or would not have custody of their children. She gave me a sob story and I bought into it. Comment by user. Have you ever ran into her again? Did you ever have one final conversation? What was the last thing you two ever said to each other? Where is she now? The drama. Reply by original poster. I have not. She hitched up with a truck driver and moved a few states away. The last conversation we had was the day she called the police over the computer. When it was done, she went to her room and I went to mine and we never spoke again. According to her Facebook, it's not private. She seems to live very much the same as she did 15 years ago, flitting from one minute wage job to another, asking for money, begging for rides, occasionally homeless. Comment by user. She had been married a few times, she was 13 years older than me, and the dads had full custody of their respective kids. Should have been a train horn in your ear. Reply by original poster. I was 25 and stupid. What can I say? LOL. Comment by user. I had a similar situation with a Titanic twat. Removed the tops from the stove, locked everything up, turned off the Wi-Fi, disabled the dryer and washer. Such a fucking nightmare to go through, man. Police were called every other day. It became a joke at the station and like a rite of passage. They'd be like, was that Anna? You going to so-and-so place? No way. I knew most of them by first name. They'd come in and I'd offer them tea or coffee. Finally she broke after like 1 to 2 months. But they were literally the worst I ever spent in a place with anyone, and I had been living with loads of people for the last 6 or so years. That was the last straw, but now I just pay additional to have my own place to myself. Reply by original poster. Thankfully, I only had to deal with the police that one time. That was one thing I was trying to avoid. And I'm sure you had a bunch of people saying the same thing to you that they said to me, just change the locks. But it's not that simple because of squatters' rights. She would have ended up calling the police and telling them that I locked her out of the apartment, that her stuff is inside, and that she has no other place to go and no job, and ultimately they would have made me let her back in the apartment. Comment by user. A few months prior, Amy and I had been working at the same store and she borrowed another coworker's laptop. She ended up getting fired, but she never gave the laptop back and the coworker was really trying to get it back from her. Amy ghosted her, of course, so while she was out one day, I went in and took the laptop and gave it back to its rightful owner. Amy called the cops on me and said I stole her computer, but I explained what happened. She admitted to the cops that the computer wasn't hers, and the cops said it wasn't their problem anymore. I would have turned it around on her and told them that technically she stole it from someone else and you simply returned it to them, so between that and the false claim she was making, they should be arresting her. Put her on the spot while also giving them additional information to prove what really happened and see how she likes the saying, F around and find out. Oh, and your story was read in a video today. Reply by original poster. The cops were disgusted to even have to be there. They told her it was a civil matter, and then as they were walking away said, be better friend. Face with tears of joy. That hilarious that it's still circulating. I'm kinda half waiting for her see it. She will 100% know the story is about her, and I'm pretty sure I'll get a message cursing me out. Comment by user. You two agreed to be roommates, just the two of you, and you moved your BF in? Reply by original poster. The lease was in my name. The utilities were in my name. She was happy there would be less bills for her to pay. What's the problem? Comment by user. You moved a fuck buddy in a month after you started dating, after what sounds like bringing a string of strangers into shared living spaces without considering that it might affect her. So I'm really not sure your roommate of the year material, either woman shrugging light skin tone. Reply by original poster. I had one friends with benefits and one boyfriend in the time she lived with me. Not sure where you got the string of strangers from. Most of the people I had over were work friends. People she also knew. Comment by user. I don't understand. She stopped paying rent and the lease was in your name. Simple solution: change lock on front door. Reply by original poster. Doesn't work that way here. I would have to formally evict her. Tom and I talked to a lawyer about it. We did one of those 15-minute consultations. Comment by user. Good for you. I think I would have changed the locks on a day she was gone though. Faster solution. Reply by original poster. You can't do that in my state. We talked to a lawyer about the whole situation. Comment by user. You're the asshole. Oh wait, wrong sub. Reply by original poster. The subreddit that's the circle jerk party. Oh wait, wrong sub. Comment by user. I stopped after that. I think you should continue. Someone this defective doesn't get better. Reply by original poster. Are you both stupid? She had her own boyfriend. Not my fault my boyfriend or my male friends didn't want her. Comment by user. Like, did you even talk to her before you moved your new boyfriend in though? Kinda sound like you were the asshole to start. And she retaliated. Reply by original poster. We did. We all worked for the same company and we all got along at first. She was happy that she was going to pay less in bills because the split went from 50/50ths to being split 3 ways. Comment by user. You sound like a shitty roommate who doesn't realize how shitty you are though. How would a guy coming over to have sex not affect her? And if he didn't hang out, how was she always hitting on him in the house? And she's doing the same thing you are doing, casual sex. But hers is wrong despite it being the same thing and yours is fine? And it's funny to flirt with her guy, but she's wrong for doing it? If your guy didn't want her hanging out with him, he wouldn't have hung out with her. And you mock her for having a failed marriage and having to have her ex care for their kids? But your marriage failed too. And then you move someone in because he can't get along with his roommates and that's okay to just add a whole human there 24/7? And when she expresses the same exact concerns you claim to have, she's the wrong one. You sound like the shitty roommate who doesn't think she is. I actually feel bad for her. It sounds like you're a self-centered main character type and think everyone is into you because you're so perfect and hot. Sounds like you have some jealousy issues and couldn't handle the attention she was getting, so you tried to turn everyone against her then harassed her. I know you think this is cute, but it really isn't. Reply by original poster. TLDR because you clearly didn't read the post. Comment by user. I did everyone possible to make her life uncomfortable. It sounds as if you had evidence beforehand that she led a complicated and troubled life. You were in a vulnerable place and appreciated her fast friendship, and needed her for rent and bills. While she was likely devastated by the loss of her children, one of the most awful things that can happen to a parent, and seems to have been acting out via promiscuity and other erratic behavior, did your fast friendship not include considering deep depression, which can deprive sufferers of the ability to take care of basics such as personal and environmental hygiene, and having concern about her change in behavior, and perhaps a talk about boundaries and acceptable deal-breaking actions when sharing an apartment? Or were you moving on with your life and finding the friendship fading, and refusing to consider how hard it is for friends when the other gets a new partner? Instead of this insatiable revenge, which you share more than a decade later with no shortage of relish, why didn't you talk to her about your discomfort around her promiscuity men, particularly those you were involved with? It is common knowledge that when one friend gets a new partner, the other can feel lonely and left out. If CPS awarded custody to father, chances are she was unable to take care of them, just as she was unable to take care of herself in your apartment. Making fun of her intimate hygiene habits for strangers online and their amusement is far more egregious than being in a deep depression over losing children. Mothers lose a sense of purpose and often do not want to live alone without their kids. She was your friend, which you said initially, to establish the cause for your moving in with her while barely knowing her. Yet there was no better way to express your discomfort and displeasure than by purposefully trying to make her life even more difficult. You are acting aggressively around my boyfriend and other men. You are not participating in our household, and I think you need help I am not able to provide. Could we call your parents or siblings and try to come up with a plan for finding you a new place? Might a kind, constructive approach have worked better rather than kicking her when she was down with your passive aggression, exacerbated her loneliness, and making the disruption of her life at home your mission? Didn't your boyfriend find this upsetting? In your mid-20s, with your divorce behind you and a new life in front, your source of entertainment became driving her from your home? Have your ex-husbands criticized you of being petty and holding grudges? I hope you can locate and apologize to her for your childish and cruel behavior. Sending indirect messages via this behavior rather than addressing it as the adult you were is pathetic. Well-timed and quick revenge can prove a point, but yours was not petty. It was pathologically awful. Reply by original poster. TLDR. Comment by user. You were in the right until you started calling places she was living and getting her evicted. That's fucked up no matter what she did to you. Reply by original poster. She got what she deserved when she threw my cat out. You don't fuck with my cat. Comment by user. You both sound kind of terrible. Reply by original poster. No, Amy sounds terrible. I just did what I had to do to make the problem remove itself and it worked. Comment by user. What happened to too long? Didn't read. Reply by original poster. It's not my job to summarize for you. If you don't like what you're reading by the second paragraph, then you can nope the fuck out. If it's some rule I missed, feel free to correct me and I'll change the post. Comment by user. Would have been easier just to get her some D. No? Reply by original poster. She had a boyfriend. She was getting D more regularly than I was. Comment by user. Even my tampons. I lost you here. Feminine hygiene products are a human right. Reply by original poster. Then buy your fucking own. You don't steal them from someone else. Comment by user. So you sent the photos to people for 2 years, but somehow you can't just go to your sent folder to get them for us? BS. Pics or none of this happened. Reply by original poster. I have over a TB of photos on my hard drive. That's over 500K files. I don't keep old stupid shit from 15 years ago. I also don't give a fuck if you believe me. All the people in my life watched it happen at the time, so your validation doesn't mean shit to me. Comment by user. Low-key, I felt like you should sleep with your boyfriend when she wasn't there. Out of respect, THO. She probably heard y'all doing it and was like, I want a piece of that. Maybe that's what triggered her. But at least she's gone. Just let her be and don't be petty no more. Reply by original poster. I thought about it, but it's really trashy, so I didn't. Comment by user. How passive-aggressive do you get? When she's obviously stealing and being rude, you should have kicked her ass out. Reply by original poster. Eviction here takes 45 to 60 days. If she fights hard enough, it can be prolonged to 90 days. I wasn't going through that. Comment by user. How passive-aggressive do you get? When she's obviously stealing and being rude, you should have kicked her ass out. Reply by original poster. Also back then, I was extremely passive-aggressive. It would not have happened this way if it happened now. Comment by user. What's sad is you're still holding onto it this long. Reply by original poster. I'm not holding on to anything. I saw this sub and I just thought it was fitting. Do you not talk about things that happened in your life? Just because someone recounts events from their past doesn't mean they are holding on to something. Comment by user. Was she initially okay with Tom moving in? Reply by original poster. Yes. Comment by user. Was she initially okay with Tom moving in? Reply by original poster. Especially since it meant less bills for her to pay. Comment by user. Why couldn't you just kick her out if lease was in your name? Reply by original poster. It doesn't work that way in my state. It would fall under squatter rights here. Comment by user. How did you get the cable company to remove cable lines in a specific room from an apartment you did not own? Reply by original poster. Cable was in my name. Comment by user. I hope your cat was found and okay? Wow, that's a crazy story. I get it though, I would have done similar shit to get someone out. You gotta do what you gotta do. Reply by original poster. She came home after 10 days. She was a little thin, but she was okay. She was a spoiled princess until the day she passed in 2012. Comment by user. Should have kept her cat. Poor thing probably suffers/ed with her as an owner, what with being given human food, many ingredients of which are toxic for cats like garlic and onion, for example, and no clean litter just because the owner wasn't the center of all attention. Here's hoping it ran away and chose a better owner. Also, A++ petty revenge. Reply by original poster. I know. I should have done better for her cat. I wasn't thinking about that back then though. She tossed my cat outside without a second thought, so I'm assuming when she left, she just tossed him out too. Comment by user. Sounds like she was suffering from major depression. Hope they found help. Reply by original poster. She didn't. Her Facebook is not private. Her life is still the same. Comment by user. Did you ever have a verbal confrontation about this? I'm so curious to hear from her and would love the satisfaction of you telling her off. Reply by original poster. I did not. I was very passive-aggressive back then. I had no spine and was afraid of confrontation. Things would go down very differently if this happened today. Comment by user. You and Tom still together? This was a wild read. Hopefully your life is better and you're dealing with less shitty people now. Reply by original poster. OMG, life is so much better. LOL. I was young and stupid at 25. I married Tom and we had 3 kids. We divorced in 2015 and we are both remarried. He is a deadbeat and hasn't seen the kids in 3 years. But my husband is a great stepdad and a wonderful partner. We live a very average life. Kids are in sports and hobbies. I'm still doing photography and my husband and I started our business last year. The only drama I have now is from my 12-year-old. Comment by user. Only thing I think you could have done differently was to bring her cat to a no-kill shelter minus its collar, if it even had one. Reply by original poster. I 100% believed she would abandon him and just leave him with me. She didn't do a single thing for him. I would have just kept him. He was a good cat minus the shitting on the floor, but that was Amy's fault. That's my biggest regret. Not locking him in my room with my cat so she couldn't access him. Comment by user. Any pics left on the camera to indicate who had it? Reply by original poster. No. Comment by user. Random question: how did you get your cat back? Reply by original poster. She found her own way back. I came home one night and she came running down the sidewalk crying for me. Comment by user. How do you know she definitely didn't return the camera? Reply by original poster. A few other commenters said that she may have brought it back so I would stop calling future roommates, so maybe she did. I didn't think of that before. Comment by user. Holy fuck, this is almost identical to my ex-roommate. It was so bad I don't even bother trying to tell the story of living with them to people because I know words cannot do justice to how horrific of a roommate they were. Weirdly comforting to read this post and see I'm not alone and that I wasn't being dramatic for hating having them as a roommate. Edit. Until reading this point, I totally forgot about this story. One time when they weren't home, I went into their room to feed their cats. Severely neglected, underfed, and didn't have a litter box. While I was in there, I found a ton of my belongings under their bed. I took all of it back to my room except one item that I decided to use as bait. I texted them and asked, "Hey, have you seen insert item lately? I'm not sure where I put it last." They told me to look in the hall closet and I told them it wasn't there. Later that night, when they got home, they texted me, "Hey, I found it. It was in the closet, like I said." So infuriating because no, it was not. It was under your fucking bed. There is a sort of happy ending to this story though. Of the 3 cats they adopted and neglected during our time living together, 2 of them are now my kitties and are extremely loved, and the other I rehomed to one of my friends who is a wonderful cat mom. This was after they decided to throw all the cats outside because they didn't want them anymore. Reply by original poster. I don't usually tell this story in such detail because a lot of people don't believe me. LOL. Please leave your story in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to get new update. Thank you.